was thinking about the word radical this morning, and I noticed that it will sometimes pop into the way I talk about things. And if you don't know, the word comes from the um, root, actually. A radical is the root, what's fundamental. And that's very much what our meetings are about. What my work is about is exploring the root of this. What is I'm looking at this tree outside my window and you know, the basis of the tree, its roots, right, the roots in the ground are kind of its source in a sense. It's the root, kind of the essence of the tree, and its ground, its basis, the root. Getting to the root of the matter. The heart of the matter. And what is the root? What is the basis of what's here right now? This is the question. This is to me, anything else involved with what we call spirituality is, hopefully of some benefit. But to me, what spirituality is about is getting to the root, finding out what that is. What is reality? I mean, really, that's the question of questions, isn't it? What is this? I mean, we have, of course, all these ideas, way elaborated ideas about what's happening in our lives, and we'll talk to each other about the complexities of our lives and what decisions we're making or not making, and things we're doing, what we're engaging with, and who we're engaging with, and the various challenges we may be facing, or moments of where we feel we've been inspired in some way. And I mean, and on 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 it goes. The ways that we elaborate this reality, seem able to talk about it and describe it and make sense of it. And all the while, we're kind of ducking this question of, but wait a minute, what is it? What exactly is it that I seem able to describe in all these complex, elaborate ways with my language? And what is the basis of what's here? That, by the way, could certainly be an intellectual question, a philosophical question, or an abstract question, but I'm posing it and inviting you to consider it as an experiential question. Like, let's find out what this is by exploring it. As I was thinking about this morning and the Zoom, I was reminded of something I sometimes say, which is that I'll often allude to physics as a nice metaphor for this inquiry, in the sense that the physicist is exploring what is the nature of matter, what is the nature of this material universe, to try to get to the bottom of it, right? What's it made of? What's matter made of? And we keep going, you could say, deeper and deeper into the essential nature of matter. Of course, we haven't arrived at a final conclusion of what matter is made of. We're down now to the subtle beyond subtle thing, the quantum, the subatomic nature of this, the quarks, I don't understand physics, so I'll just stop there because I don't really know what to say about it. Other than, in one sense, it's as if nothing's there. It's very space-like when we get down to the fundamental nature of matter, so-called matter, which feels so. This is why physics is a beautiful kind of powerful metaphor for what is the broadly, more broadly speaking, the nature of reality, because what feels and is experienced as so concrete and substantive in the material world, like, I can, knock on my computer here and it's very solid, it's matter. But isn't it amazing that this seemingly hard, concrete thing called matter is made of something so evanescent and immaterial, seemingly? Doesn't that just, isn't that just like explode your mind? Like, but it's so obviously something substantive and material. But wait a minute, that's not the only story about it, is it? Well, how could it be both very solid and substantive and at the same time absolutely space-like in its nature? Well, that makes no sense, in one way. And now we look at our experience, our human experience, which is what we really have to investigate as experiential physicists, like let's be experiential physicists for a moment and explore the nature of experience, which is really what we have to explore. What's happening, seemingly. We could just call that what's present. What's showing up? That's what I mean by experience. What's showing up? And again, we think of what's showing up in all the ways that we do of ourselves existing in a world, experiencing all these phenomena, and that's fine. But we're experiencing all of this. What is our experience? What is the root of it? What is it made of? Just as a physicist would try to get to the bottom of what the material world is made of. What is the experiential world made of? Um, to me, it's like at the top of the list of questions we could ever possibly want to explore as humans. But I would say rarely is that question ever investigated. I mean, I've been trained in and teach in the whole world of psychology, as many of you know, and working with a lot of young people, but of all ages, training to work with people therapeutically, and honestly, like working with people's experience, basically, and how people are struggling with their experience in X, Y, or Z ways, and coming to, say, a therapist to get support in navigating their human experience. And meanwhile, honestly, I think it's fair to say, I don't know of a single historical or contemporary psychologist that has ever at least said explicitly, like, well, what is experience? I have all these labels for it, and then I'm operating in that world, or psychologists and other humans, of course, operate in this world as if we know what we're talking about, what this is, what is it? But do we really know? Do you know what's going on? Do you know what you're experiencing? What experience even is? And I mean, it is so profound to really let this question like drop into your consciousness and feel like, what is this? Let's just say, as I often do, that what this is life, this sense of aliveness. Or you could call it being or presence, right? They're synonyms for me. And we could say, well, what am I? The human that I am navigating the world of experience and circumstance. I am made of life, aliveness, whatever life is, right? And all the experiences that are occurring that this life that I call John is navigating are also made of life. In that sense, it's life experiencing life, isn't it? Right now. That we might describe as me speaking to you and you listening to me on a Zoom call, like we just described. But what we're really describing is a particular elaborated version of what? Life experiencing life. I mean that really not just poetically, but literally. So life, and we're starting, I feel when I say something like that, and when we start to feel that, we're getting at closer to the root of this, of what it is, more fundamentally. It's life. So as you feel that, feel yourself as this life, the mystery of life. And then everything being encountered is life, right? But life is tasting life right now, exploring life. Life is dancing with life and feeling life right now that we call a conversation. As you feel that sense of aliveness that is everything, the ground of everything is its being, right? You could say, what's essential about you? What's essential about every phenomena you may come across in any moment is its being, right? Its existence, its aliveness. So now, as I said, it feels as if we're touching something more primal, the root, right? To feel the life of this, the aliveness of this, the being, the isness of this. So let's go a little further and ask the question, an experiential question of, well, what is life? Feel that. Feel the aliveness. Feel the sense of being, which is really the feeling of the moment, is the sense of being, right? It's you feel the essence of this moment, right? Is that it is. Here it is. Here's the moment. That's its essence, that it is. It's what's most basic about it. But now, as you feel the isness of this moment, the beingness of this moment, whatever it is that's feeling that also is being. So it's like being is exploring itself, we could say. Or you could say consciousness is exploring itself. That doesn't matter. The words are, but just feel the sense of being that this is. Now, we could say that's the root, but what's the essence of being? Let yourself feel that. What is being made of? What are the what are the subatomic particles of being? It's very subtle. It's subtle, beyond subtle, beyond subtle. Very concrete. You can feel being. It's a felt sense. Just like I was saying, the material world is concrete, but what is it made of is evanescent and space-like. Feel being, it's concrete. It's as concrete as matter. It's here, palpably here, the sense of being, the beingness of everything, the beingness of this moment, reality. It's palpable. Feel that, and now see if you can find the bottom of it, the root of it, the essence of being. What is it? Just feel being. It's all you're ever feeling anyway. You can't find the essence, can you? It's like falling down, 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 and you never land at the bottom. You never arrive at, oh, I found the essence of being. It's being. The essence of being is being. But what is being? It's just this endless, there's always more. You never run out of being. You never hit the wall. You finally got to the end, It's like, you're in some house and he's like, you want to know what's the edge of the house? What's the end of the house? When do I arrive at the finality of the house? And you hit the wall and there's the end of the house. On the other side of the wall is not your house. It's the world outside of your house. You feel being and you'll want to get to the end of being. So you arrive at the end point of it. Like now you know what it is. And as you feel being, you never find that end point. It's endless. It's doesn't have an essence. It's doesn't have a root. It's rootless. It's groundless. It's not a thing. For one thing, if you think you've grasped hold of the root of being, the essence of being, because being is alive, that essence you imagine you found, this is what it is, just slips right through your hands because it turns into something else. And then that turns into something else seemingly. And that turns, so you can never grasp hold of the, you never find, you can't find it. And yet, here is being, but you can't say what it is. In that sense, you can't say what anything is because fundamentally everything simply is a movement of life, an appearance of life, life shaping itself as thought, as feeling, as sensation, as a world, as you, as me. But in its essence, everything is alive. Everything is, but it's without essence, without root, without ground. In that sense, there's nothing here. It's pure emptiness, empty of thingness, but full of all of this life. It's absolute magic. That this reality that is unfindable as a thing that you can put your finger on and go, there it is. There's the root of this, the essence of this. Now I know what it is. It's impossible. It's like you just put your finger right through space. Nothing that can be found. And yet, here is the world. Here you are, appearing. It's mirage-like, isn't it? Like very palpably here, and yet absolute pure space. Pure freedom, pure. And there's nothing but this purity. You know, the word purity, when you say, well, it's pure whatever, it's pure gold or it's pure, diamond, it's pure iron, whatever it is, it's pure means what? There's nothing of a different kind. There's just that thing. That's what makes it pure, right? It's not, there's nothing else in it but that thing. That's the purity of reality. There's nothing in this but reality. That's its purity. It's only, there's just one thing here, this purity, this being. Everything, everyone is the absolute purity of being. Can't really say what that is ultimately. But nothing ever becomes something other than that. Although we can imagine that, oh no, that's somehow so divorced from being, this moment, because it's so difficult or confusing, or that person seems so out of whack, or I feel so out of whack that this is not the purity of being. But no, it is the purity of being because there's only the purity of being. Pure in the sense that there's nothing but being. Sometimes it sounds like the crow outside my window that I just heard. That's the sound of the purity of being. Sometimes it sounds like someone crying. Sometimes it sounds like and looks like whatever, all the ways it can sound and look like and feel like. But what's fundamental about it all, In the same way, what's fundamental about the glass of water and my sunglasses and my computer is this quantum space that is everything. That can look like glasses and sunglasses and computers and human beings, but all of it is what? What everything is made of, which there is no word for that, is there? The physicists will never arrive at what this is, and nor will we ever arrive at what this is experientially because it's infinite. You never get to the bottom of what is infinite because it has no bottom. It's endless. We can feel that endlessness. The conceiving mind keeps imagining that it can conceive of this, that it can wrap its conceptual hands around this and go, now I've finally figured out what this is. Now I can write a treatise on what reality is. It's like, you know, if we let reality tell us what it is, reality will keep showing us that there's no treatise that could ever encompass what this is, because how do you write a treatise on infinity? You would need an infinite amount of time to write a treatise on infinity, and but you would never end. The writing would never end. You would just keep writing the treatise. But see, that's the freedom from all of the ideas about what this is. All of the ideas of I'm a human being, whatever, trying to deal with my life. I mean, um, it's a funny comment. An infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters, exactly. Yeah. So, when we are experiencing these elaborate, seemingly elaborate dramas of our lives, and sometimes like feeling like, oh my God, this drama is just overwhelmingly confusing, and I can't make heads or tails of what to do and how to deal with this situation. And all of that is this infinity, this fathomless, essenceless unresolvability. That's what it really is. That can look like our elaborated lives, for sure, but not really that, not in its essenceless essence. It's this pure perfection of being. Every single one of our experiences is the pure perfection of being.